welcome to yet another fascinating edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievement of the Corporate Affairs Commission. I am Amina Jibril. Coming up on CAC Weekly, CAC sets to complement federal government's poverty alleviation program as Nigeria hosts Industrialization Summit 2021. And one of Nigeria's leading newspaper outfits applauds CAC reform initiatives. Plus, company law experts brings us up to speed on the 2 new forms of business registration recently unveiled by the Commission. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
I came here after 2 o'clock and I'm now going home with my LLP certificate. This is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. There is no organization that I know in the history of our country that has this level of efficiency. So I am very, very happy. I'm very, very proud of this. And I want Nigerians to know that Corporate Affairs Commission is now a very, very modern organization. Everything they have used is based on technology.
We'll begin today with the poverty alleviation efforts of the federal government. Now, as the nation sets to hold the Nigeria Industrialization Summit 2021, the Corporate Affairs Commission has stated its readiness to complement the federal government's effort to lifting 100 million citizens out of poverty. The Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, stated this while receiving members of the local organizing committee led by the National Vice President of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NACIMA, David Eweta. Alhaji Garba Abubakar, who described the CAC as the gateway to any foreign or local investment, stated the Commission's readiness to providing services at the event in a bid to facilitate Nigeria's dire quest for industrialization.
No economy develops on services alone. In fact, we are not, with all the challenges, part of the issues we have with insecurity is the high level of unemployment. And government cannot provide employment to everybody. Unfortunately, these same people that were hitherto working in factories are now turned to Okada riders. Some of them have become miscreants. So I thank God for the initiative from the African Development Bank. As an institution, we know that eventually some of these transactions will come to us.
He used the forum to highlight the Commission's reform initiatives geared towards making the CAC attain the status of a world-class companies registry and assured of support to the organizers in accordance with provisions of the law of the land. Now, speaking earlier, the leader of the delegation, David Eweta, National Vice President of NACIMA, said the summit was being organized in accordance with President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within 10 years. He revealed that to support Nigeria to realizing its objective, the African Development Bank, AFDB, under the leadership of its president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, was providing a $520 million grant to support small businesses in some selected states across the country.
Without Corporate Affairs Commission, we do not think that any organization, either local or foreign, can operate in this country. And so looking at the very important role that your corporation plays in the country's national development, we consider it very key to have this dialogue and to see how best we can collaborate in trying to stimulate good local and international institutions or organizations to meet us in the drive of our economic industrialization of our economy, because we actually taking this very initiative seriously because of the support of patient capital that was introduced by the African Development Bank.
He further stated that in order to encourage participation, attendance was free, adding that the event scheduled for November 2021 was expected to draw participants and resource persons from across the globe. We now move on to talk about more accolades for the CAC. Now, the management of Business Day newspaper have applauded the reform initiatives of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, under the leadership of the CEO and the Registrar General, Alhaji Garba Abubakar. Now, the Business Day publisher and CEO, Mr. Frank Ayebugu, stated this during a courtesy call to the Commission. Frank Ayebugu noted with satisfaction the current digitization of CAC operations geared towards improving the country's business environment and therefore enjoined the Registrar General of the CAC to sustain the tempo. While describing the position of CAC as strategic to the realization of the ease of doing business initiative of the federal government, Ayebugu used the forum to solicit for enhanced collaboration with the Commission to ensuring proper public sensitization on the activities and the achievement of the CAC. He therefore pledged to maintain a relationship that would guarantee what he called a seamless dissemination of information relating to the activities and the achievements of the Commission. Responding, the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, highlighted some of the reform initiatives of the Commission, which he said were aimed at making the CAC operate at par with its global peers. Now, while emphasizing the importance of sensitization to the success of the organizations, the Registrar General stressed the need for media practitioners to always abide by professional ethics and ensure balance in their reportage before going to press in order not to mislead the public. CAC Weekly reports that, accompanied on the visit by the Business Day publisher and CEO Frank Ayebugu, was the managing director, Dr. Oba Okoti, and other top management staff of Business Day. We now shift gears to talk about the CAMA 2020, which is undoubtedly embedded with so many initiatives that are aimed at changing the business environment. Some of the new forms of business registrations introduced by the CAMA 2020 is the Limited Liability Partnerships, LLPs, and the Limited Partnership LP. CAC Weekly caught up with Mr. Justin Nidia Biraul, the Director, Board Secretary, and Tolulokpe Adiola Shanaike, the Assistant Director, Registry. While Mr. Nidia explains the new concept of limited liability partnerships, LLPs, for us, Mr. Shanaike will roll out its checklist for registration. Do enjoy watching this interview.
Thanks for joining us again, sir.
Thank you for having me again.
Okay. We do understand that, the limited liability partnership and the limited partnership is some of the new, business registration introduced by CAMA 2020. We did talk about the limited liability partnership some weeks back, that's the LLP. But today we're talking about the LP, which is the limited partnership. But help us understand, all the grammar behind the limited partnership.
Well, the limited partnership is basically a special type of partnership.
Okay.
Partnership is generally understood to be a business relationship that exists between two or more people carrying on business for profit.
Okay.
This is considered special because it partakes of some of the features of a limited liability company.
Okay.
That's why it is called a special form of partnership.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When people hear limited, they'll be like, oh, so there's a specific number to that.
No, the limitation doesn't have to do with the number.
Okay.
Rather, like we said earlier, it is one of the features of a limited liability company that is brought into the concept of partnership that makes it a limited partnership.
Okay, so let's look at the features. What makes it a limited partnership in the first place?
Well, the requirement is that, first of all, like any other form of partnership, you require a minimum of 2 people. But in this case, it is required that one of the partner must be a limited partner.
Okay.
Then one of them must be what we call a general partner.
Okay. So let's understand who is a limited partner and who is a general partner.
Well,
before we go further.
Okay, the general partner is understood to be the person that will manage, that will be actively involved in the management of the enterprise.
Okay, the day-to-day running of the enterprise.
The day-to-day running of the business.
Okay.
While the limited partner is understood to bring in capital, a specific amount of capital.
Okay.
Because he is actively involved in the management of company. Therefore, his liability in terms of debts and obligations that would arise from management of the company is unlimited.
Okay.
But the limited partner, his liability in the event of maybe winding up or any other debt that is incurred is limited to the amount he contributed into the capital of the partnership.
Okay.
And it doesn't go beyond that.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are some of the other features there?
The other features is that one, like we have said, the limited partner should not be involved in the management of
the day-to-day running of the business.
The day-to-day running of the business. Then the other features is that unlike the general partners, in this case, the law allows that there should be what we call business continuity.
Okay.
So in the event that the limited partner, for instance, wants to leave, it doesn't lead to what we call dissolution of the partnership.
Okay.
But for the general partner, once a partner resigns or is dead or has become bankrupt, that automatically leads to the dissolution of the partnership.
Okay.
But the occurrence of these 3 events in the event of a limited partner does not automatically dissolve the partnership.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For some people, will the limited partnership be the same as the business registration or the one-man registration?
No.
Business name registration, sorry.
Well, it is a form of business registration for the fact that it doesn't have what we call the legal personality.
Okay.
So its registration is similar to that of a business name.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now let's look at the difference between the LP and the other forms of business registration. Why will somebody opt for a limited partnership?
Well, like we have said, the advantages are many. Like we have said now, that in the general form of partnership, for instance, once a partner dies or has become bankrupt or resigns, that leads automatically to the dissolution of the partnership. But for this case, the business continues. What it means is that either the general partner or the limited partner can be replaced and the business continues.
Okay.
The other thing is that it gives opportunity to an investor, for instance, that doesn't want to be actively involved in the management of a business to take what we call calculated risk. Calculated in the sense that the amount that he knows he is likely to lose is predetermined from the beginning.
Okay.
And that is reflected in what we call his capital contribution.
Okay.
So even if the business goes down, he will not be required to contribute over and above the capital contribution he contributed from the beginning of.
So what will be the capital contribution of an investor?
Well, it depends on the agreement between the general partner and the limited partner.
Okay.
They are required to...
the law is not specific about it? It's something the two of them can agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will the LP contribute to the business environment?
Well, because it is new, the potentials are great.
Okay.
Because like we have said, before now, that opportunity was not available in the country. So, for instance, if you are working somewhere, maybe you are a public servant, which by virtue of code of governance is not allowed to be involved in the management of business.
Okay.
You can contribute a capital and finance an unemployed graduate, for instance.
Okay. So as we wind down, what is the thinking behind this new business registration?
Well, the thinking, like we said earlier, is that in other parts of the world, that gave the business, particularly the investors, a lot of leverages, because investors normally, part of them, particularly private equities, don't involve themselves in the day-to-day running of business. They look at a prospect of a business, then they put in specific amount of capital that they will think will kickstart the business. Then as soon as the business becomes prosperous, then they withdraw their investment.
Okay.
So it's widely used, the limited partnership is widely used in other parts of the world.
Okay.
So this new provision now has opened up that possibilities for our citizens to explore its advantages.
So now for the new arrangements,
that's
limited liability partnership and the limited partnerships. Okay, now the major highlights, the major key things to note, for them.
Since they are new.
They are new. So it's not like we're revising the checklist for them.
Okay,
no, we never had checklists for them.
In the first place.
Yes. So this is new, and these are just the articulated service requirements. So for both of them, for LLP, limited liability partnerships, you need at least 2 persons. Anyway, the name all clearly suggests
you must
that
have
it's
a partner.
partnership. So you need at least 2 persons. And a body corporate can actually be a partner. So, I mean, a company can join. You can have an individual and a company. You can have just 2 companies coming to form it. You can have 2 individuals, right? And then there must be at least 2 persons that you call designated partners. Now, these designated partners play the role that directors play in companies. They are responsible for managing the partnership and for everything that the law says must be complied with. So if we're going to hold anybody accountable for statutory compliance, it will be these designated partners. And a nominee, a body corporate, that's a corporate body, cannot be a designated partner. Designated partners must be individuals. But a corporate body can appoint a nominee as a designated partner, just the same way that a body corporate can appoint somebody to represent it on the board of a company. Then minors again can join. But before minors can join, you must have 2 adults.
Just like the previous arrangement.
Just like the previous arrangements, And then where a minor is a partner in a limited liability partnership, there must be what you call an attestation for that minor. That attestation can only be made by 1 of 3 persons, either a magistrate or a legal practitioner or a police officer of a rank not below Assistant Superintendent of Police. Right. So, and that attestation form is available on our website. It's to be downloaded. It's a fillable PDF. Download it, fill it, and then take it to any of these 3 persons to endorse. Then you come back and upload it in accompaniment of your application, online application. Then minors cannot be designated partners.
They can only be partners.
They can be partners, but non-designated partners. And then the partnership, the limited liability partnership, there's a default partnership agreement. It is Schedule 15 to the Act, right? So, because the partnership must have an agreement. Their operations are regulated by the agreement. The agreement will make provisions for so many things. Just like you have articles for companies, theirs is the agreement. So there is this default agreement that is there as a schedule to the Companies and Other Matters Act 2020.
Okay.
So where the partnership is desirous, they can just adopt it.
Okay.
And where they even make their own agreements, if there's any subject that they did not cover in their own agreement, those subjects will be regulated by the default provisions in the agreement. You can totally ignore the default agreement and create your own, so long as it's not inconsistent with the provisions of the law.
Okay.
And the basic things that are required are there.
Okay. So the whole idea is to make things less complicated.
Easy. Otherwise, you can adjust it or just fully adopt it. Now, there is a subscription page to their agreement. Every partner must subscribe his name and signature on that agreement. So you must sign at the last page, you must sign the execution page. You must sign as each partner. You must sign that, and you must state what kind of partner you are, whether you are designated or ordinary. Now, when you come to the limited partnership, now the limited partnership, the other one thing, I forgot to mention with limited liability partnership is that it is a body corporate. It is separate from its partners.
Okay.
It is unlike the traditional partnership arrangement. In this case, this is a partnership that enjoys legal personality. So the partners are different from the partnership. The partnership can do business in its name, just like companies will do. So, and in the case of winding up or issues, the partners are only exposed to the limits to the extent of what they have agreed to contribute to the partnership, because there will be contributions from each partner. So if we say this is my own contribution, I can contribute everything fully, in which case when the company is being wound up and there are liabilities to settle, I'm not going to give you any dime again. I've paid everything I undertook to pay, subscribe to. Right now, it's also may happen that even though we have agreed that this is how much I'm contributing, I won't contribute everything at the same time.
Okay, so you can do your contribution in phases.
I pay parts, and then whatever is outstanding, when issues arise, and then we have to wind up and settle them, I must pay the balance. Same thing will apply if I've not paid at all before. I must pay it. Okay. Right? But my exposure, my risk, my liabilities will not extend beyond that amount. Now, that is different in the case of limited partnership. Right? For a limited partnership, there is a partner that will be described as the general partner, who has his liabilities unlimited. And there is the limited partner, who has his liabilities limited. So you find that the limited partnership is a hybrid between the general partnership and the limited liability partnership. In that it has one partner whose liabilities are unlimited. That's a general partner. And then he has another partner whose liabilities are limited. That is a limited partner. So you can say that in some form, the limited partnership enjoys some form, at least some of the partners enjoy some form of limitation of liability. That's separate from the limited partnership
And they also enjoy some kind of transparency, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you are a limited partner, for instance, the law does not expect or even allow that you take part in the management of the partnership. Yes, and that is why your liability will be limited. If you are not taking decisions, if you are not running the place, why should you then be held accountable for whatever loss or whatever thing that arises? So, but the moment you take part in running the business, you start interfering and telling them how to do things. From that moment, you lose that cover. It doesn't matter what they call you, that you're a limited partner. Once they can prove that you were part of the management of it, you also lose your limitation of liability. Your liabilities become unlimited.
So you have globalized yourself. And so then you pay for the penalty.
Whatever it is, you join in settling, all the debt.
Thank you very much indeed for your time as always.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
And that's where we draw the curtain on this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and our helplines. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. You could visit our website via www.cac.gov.ng, and our helplines are on the numbers 081-822-99016 or 081-822-98971, 090-874-01598 or 090-874-01599 and 090-874-01600. Do join us next week for yet another interesting edition of the program. Same time and same station. From me, Amina Hajibro, and the whole team here, it is bye for now.